Welcome back to American Hammers TV on American Hammers Network. Tonight we have a couple familiar faces and a couple, actually, I think Zach's the only one who's not been on that much compared to everybody else, because he's been doing American Hammers Radio quite a bit. He was part of the flagship show, American Hammers Radio, and then we gave him his own show and gave him the opportunity to do a show called Fortune's Always Hiding with Chris Ristic down there in the opposite corner, who you probably recognize from this show and maybe even the Columbus C13 podcast. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, before we continue, I just want to thank you for believing in me. My brother, who's done podcasts, he's done play-by-play for the CWHL, play-by-play for the Hockey East Women's for Boston University. When I told him that you guys gave me my own podcast, he laughed at me and said, "Yeah, no way. What did you call me about?" I'm like, "No, they're giving me their own podcast." I'm like, yeah. And he laughed at me. He said, "No, really, I don't." And so it took me about 4 or 5 tries to get it through to him that I got my own podcast, and he didn't believe it.
It's awesome, and it's really working out for everybody because Liam is the guy who's in Fresno with Kyle doing the flagship show of American Hammers Radio. They literally are sitting in the same room doing that show, so it looks great, sounds great. They're doing a fantastic job over there. And then Zach, I gave him some East Coast guys. I gave him, well, technically, or Eastish. Erie, Pennsylvania, and
Pennsylvania, Ohio,
Columbus, Ohio. Sometimes, University, Ohio, whatever. Sometimes, and anyway, and then John Jackson from the West Ham, Philadelphia. He's awesome. He's great. I'm so glad that we have him around. I actually get so basically I'd say Selly and Chris are the only 2 people here I've not met. I mean, I've met Zach in person down in DC.
You haven't met Selly? Seriously?
No, not in person. Not in person.
So hang on.
Not in person, no.
Hang on. The first thing Tim ever said to me was, "Wow, you're taller in person than I expected."
I thought you were a dwarf. I swear to God.
Dude, I'm my license says that I'm 6 foot.
Oh, yes, exactly. No, it's really
to be Jewish and to be 6 foot is a remarkable thing.
It's crazy, dude. Hold on. Someone was saying they can't see our names. Oh, there. If I don't have the banner, you can see our names. All right. Anyway, there's Zach, Lee, Selly, and Chris. But anyway, down DC also, I don't know what's in the water, but Kostya and Lucas, who have also had on the show before. I mean, all over 6 feet, or roughly 6 feet.
Who's the guy that loves Chicharito as much as I do?
I think that was Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a Chicharito. I was at the Red Sox Yankees series last year, and I bought a Chicharito scarf, and it has Chicharito's face, and it has Chicharito on the number 17 across the scarf, and he offered to trade it to me for the Women's FA Cup scarf.
Oh, nice.
And I came this close, literally this close to saying yes.
I'd do it.
And I'm like, and this was back in August before Chicharito left. And I'm like, I really want to do this, but at the same time, my friends in London, they wouldn't get it because they wouldn't buy me it. I really wanted the breast cancer jersey, but I really wanted the Australian breast cancer, the Australian girl, the one with the 15 character name on the back.
Yeah, the gobble.
Yeah, who literally sounds like, I don't know, it's extremely Australian, and I wanted that, and when I called, and I literally picked up the phone and called them, and picked up the fees for it and said, "This is what I want on the jersey. Can you do it?" And they're like, "No, we can't do this. You have to be in the UK." Yeah. And my friend, who I moderate a Facebook group with, said, "This is what I want." And they're like, "Yeah, you can't do that." I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me. Can I just get a blank one?" Like, "It's too late, Zach." I'm like, "Eric, you're killing me." By the way, the Facebook group that I moderate is Irons West Ham United. I know.
But you mentioned that in the podcast as well, I think before.
Yes.
Or I don't know if it was this one or the last podcast, but yeah.
Yeah. So I know
mentioned
what
before.
I know. Wings posted his podcast there a couple of times.
Mhm.
I've always approved it because I know that he offers quality stuff. But we have 3 questions to answer, and then just agree to the group's admins, and you do that, we're fine. We don't have any problem.
Exactly.
As long as you don't say the CU word, we're fine.
Yeah, no, that works. Well, then I don't think any of us would get in that group. Lee, especially Lee over there, he loves that cabbage word.
I keep it clean. I do. It's true. I keep it a family show. Nobody else does.
Unless we're watching a match together.
Oh,
We
God.
start throwing cabbage around.
Private life is different. Now, private life.
Yeah.
My mother watching. I hope not. Private life. Cuss like I said. Very dirty, but not here. Never here.
Yeah, but like I was trying to say before is that I've met Lee's tall. Zach, you're tall, but usually you think I'm so used to like watching people on TV and then seeing them in person. I'm like, holy shit, they're a midget, But no, apparently, but everybody I've met so far, like Wally World from the chat room. I mean, he's like 6'4" almost. I mean, he towers over me. And who else did I met? Wayne's the midget.
Jeremy Roenick is, right?
Huh?
Jeremy Roenick, the former.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's about like 6-ish.
Yeah, 6-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I actually met him in because of a charity drive thing. And by the way, he's a hell of a nice guy. Believe what you want to believe for Barstool, but he's a hell of a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, like when you meet him for the first time, you're just kind of like looking at him, and you're looking at him, and you're like, oh my God, you're actually shorter than I believed. And most hockey players are a lot taller than you believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like Alex Ovechkin, the first time I met Alex Ovechkin, he's a hell of a lot taller. Nick Backstrom, same thing. Tom Wilson, he's a hell of a lot taller than you expect him to be. So it's just a matter of perspective, really.
Where is someone's asking? Who is this? Trevor. Where's Ray, Wally, Charlie, Katie?
He got T-Bone.
In the chat.
He got T-Bone.
In the chat room?
All we need.
Yeah, we
got all we need. We got Tebow and Neil. I mean,
that's all we need, man.
all we need, man. Tebow's my man.
You guys set the fire, and we'll see what happens.
Neil's in the future, so he already knows how this show goes.
That's true.
Hey, do we have any blankets to send smoke signals? Question mark.
Chris. Yes, Chris. I'm going to start things off with you, and then we'll just zigzag around. Who cares? We'll just wing it, I guess, tonight. So, what positives can you come up with? I mean, we were talking about beforehand. We all knew what we were going to be doing here tonight, except Sally. Sally didn't realize what we were going to be doing tonight, unless he read the title and said, "You know what? I like that." Anyway, long story short. You knew we were going to be trying to find positives tonight, Chris. Did you find any?
I haven't really been able to come up with many, if any at all.
How about this? I got one for you. Neil and Tebow are in the chat room tonight.
There you go.
Always positive.
Yes.
Always positive. If they're not here, I'm worried. I'm calling 999 and finding out where Tebow is.
I mean,
is he okay?
For me, I think. For me, it's just looking real bleak. Like I just feel like I'm almost in a state of limbo, like just dependent on how this window goes. And so far, it has not been good.
No.
I've been seeing some rumors today, but I mean, they're the same kind of.
Like what? Because I haven't seen jack shit. The only thing I saw was that there's nothing right now. So everything's falling through, and we got our Darren Randolph, and that's it.
Apparently we are. This is according to the Mirror.
Oh God, Barkley.
It's
Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley.
I'd rather have Charles.
Mailman.
I would love Charles Barkley on our team. You kidding me?
Put
him in goal.
And then the Mirror
mound to rebound.
The Mirror's resurfaced this one, and it's been in the news for months now. That we've been linked to. They said that Chelsea are so far refusing to loan Barkley, but of course we're going in for a loan. But Moyes is hoping that first team football would convince him to move. The club are considering other targets, including AC Milan midfielder Frank Kessie, who's considering his options. And we've been linked with him since like September. The other one is that I saw the West Ham football account, the one that's like almost like a talking piece for the board. Apparently, Moyes now wants to concentrate on signing younger players, and so that makes the signing of Joe Allen unlikely.
Oh, good. That's a positive.
There you go. That's a positive.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. I didn't think we were going to find one tonight.
From Sport Witness, I don't know them at all, but apparently we are in for an Austrian back, Lazaro. Don't know, from Hertha. From Hertha. So I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
So
neither do I.
What'd you say? Is a right back?
For you.
Is a right back or a left back?
Right wing back. He plays right back and right wing. So he's one of those Matt Walker types that can slot into either role.
Hey, Von Thielen Nazaro, he's at Inter Milan right now.
Yes, that's what they're saying. That's obviously just the rumor, but I have no idea.
Do you know he has 3 international goals, by the way?
I did not know that.
So, one against Northern Ireland, one against Northern Macedonia, by the way, which is the newest country in the world, apparently. By the way, I'm a geography major, and I geek out about this. Literally, I geek out about this. By the way, fill out your census forms when it comes out of March. And he has another goal against Israel in your 2020 qualifications. But, yeah, that's pretty much what Wikipedia can give to me.
Okay.
We're wanting younger players. Joe Allen isn't going to come. Potentially Frank Kessie and a right wing back. So maybe the window isn't lost yet, but we only have 2 weeks left.
Halfway through.
Let's see. Sally, do you think that maybe the board is just putting up a facade and saying, making us think that they're stupid and making us think that they're shit and they're not going to sign anything, and the next thing you know, they'll pull off a big January splash? You think that's even possible?
Well, I think January splashes in general are kind of hard to do because I don't think you're going to find, a superstar. You're not going to go out and sign like your Allairs in January. Especially if you're never really going to get an informed player. You're going to get somebody who, a super sub or somebody who doesn't really get starting time.
But is that true? I mean, so here's the thing. So think about this, Selly, right?
Yeah.
Think about Allaire. Is he performing? Has he had a smashing season for us?
Well, no, but nobody has.
No. So my point is, do you think that he would have a smashing season for somebody else potentially?
In the Premier League or just in general?
No, anywhere really. I mean, there's got to be a team out there that he'd fucking smash 20 goals, right?
Oh yeah.
So basically, my point is,
yeah,
there's guys that are underperforming at clubs all over the place, right?
Sure,
It's got to be.
Yeah.
So you think that maybe we should be targeting players that are underperforming at other clubs that might fit Moyes' system, no?
If I can interject real quick, actually, one of the big names, or one of the biggest instances of that happening was Jean Mario.
Oh God!
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he wasn't too bad. I liked him a lot.
Fucking Lee, put that away.
I'm just relaying the message.
Okay.
But I don't know, and I think a lot of it too, I know leaks come from a bunch of different sources, but I think just to kind of keep fans interested, anybody who, we might have just had a phone call with, pick up the phone, say, hey, we want to talk to your player. And then, okay, it's a leak. We're talking to this dude from Real Madrid, whether it's true or not, whether there's any intent to get him, it is what it is. But I think a lot of it too is, a lot of these people, like we've never heard of before. But the funny thing about it is, the fans, and I said this on Sunday show, fans will get so attached to a name because they're linked to a club. And then like the Fernandes thing, granted, he could be a world beater for Tottenham. Mm-hmm. He could end up being gone by summertime. Who knows?
Exactly.
You know, and you know, so I'll look excited or not look. I'll be excited or interested when you know you see him hold a scarf over his head, you know, that kind of stuff. But other than that, I mean, it's all just rumors. No matter where the source comes from, you know, whatever, whoever. Until you see him, he's not on the team. I don't care.
So Zach,
The same way.
Yes.
Zach, do you think that there should be more activity though? I mean, in the January window, because you think that these players who are not happy at their clubs that could be doing well elsewhere, you think they'd be telling their agents to shop me around, no?
Well, so I'm thinking of this as an American, and this has gotten me in a lot of trouble elsewhere. But so if you look at a club if you look at a league like the NASL when it was the second division, if you will, with New York Cosmos, the 11, Fort Lauderdale Strikers, Miami FC, when they had great players and they put a shit ton of money out, and like, oh, you don't like what you're going through, oh, we'll just transfer you and we'll pay a bunch of money we'll get a bunch of money for you. But it's just kind of like yeah, we don't like you don't want to join us, fine, be what it is. But it like West Ham United has a very, very weird transfer issue. Like, people don't want to come to us.
That's true.
And I don't know if it's
why.
What?
I said, I wonder why.
Well, and a lot of it has to do with
I do wonder why though.
No,
seriously though. I mean, we're in the Premier League first and foremost. We've been in the Premier League longer than most other clubs in this league right now. More like at least more than half, right? Or close to. We gotta be. And thirdly, we have a massive stadium with 60,000 people in that stadium every home match, right? And then on top of it, so you got a massive crowd behind you, supposedly. That's here nor there. But the point is, they have. I mean, you get transferred to a club, they pay you, and if they don't fucking pick. If you can't agree to the contract, then you don't transfer. Right. So it's not like they don't pay enough money. I mean, they got money to spend.
I think they see, though, like kind of the administrative side of it, and the complaints of the people through Twitter as well. And I do think like
West Ham's a club that places and people go to die, or players go to ruin their careers, etc. But
and the fact that there's I wouldn't basically hostility and just toxicity with this fan base because of how bad like the ownership has been for so many years. I think that kind of puts players off.
So to be quite honest, the toxicity between David Squarewood and Karren Brady has not helped one whatsoever at all. And I think show of hands, we're all in agreement that this has not been great for us. Sure,
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you, Ray. Yes. What's the point of
I don't know.
Rita from the Peanuts. What is the point of natural curly hair if nobody's jealous? And honestly, but seriously, like, would not like we can't like. We like between David Squarewood and Karren Brady, we honestly don't know what we're doing. I hate to say, we're almost better off with the bankrupt Icelandic billionaire than we are currently. And I've read David Sullivan's book. I actually enjoyed David Sullivan's book.
I thought it was David Gold.
Well, Gold, Sullivan, it's David.
You read David Gold's book. You say that every week.
Hang on, stop. I put them together like a homogeneous blob.
I get it. Yeah.
You get it? Yeah. So I just put them together. I really don't care.
No, I understand. I'm just messing with you.
I think a lot of it too could be. Oh, I'm sorry, Lee. Go ahead. I know you had something to say.
Go. Please go.
I was gonna say, I think a lot of it has to do with instability with the club, you know, and not even just instability, but that is the biggest part. You know, I mean, we've seen pictures of the training ground. You got the 18th, best
garbage,
18th biggest revenue in the world, and you know, you look like you play in a high school pitch to practice, you know, and then not only that, but the instability in terms of, you know, we haven't had a manager for more than 2 seasons since. Big Sam, I think. Well, I think Village was
Two and a
he was
half.
what the bowling, and then he had the year after, and then maybe half a season. So
Yeah. So 2.5 years. But still, I know what you're saying. I get your point.
yeah.
To be quite honest, I mean, Big Sam did what for us other than save her asses? Not much. And
No, I get that, and I'm not necessarily saying that we've, I think that's just a reason too. I understand that if a manager's not performing, that they shouldn't be in place, but at the same time, I know there's a lot that goes into it. You have to back them, this and that. Players have to perform, regardless. But if you're a player, why would you want to come? I mean, West Ham you would look at it, you think it's an ideal position for all the reasons that Tim said. Stadium's packed, home and away. We have one of the rowdiest away sections in any club.
Correct.
When we travel, you hear it on TV, whatever. But
so I mean, to be quite honest, Claire, Princess Claire, that's her handle on Facebook. In the Facebook group Irons / West Ham United forum. She loves going to away games. She loves meeting fans. We all love her. She handles the front. By the way, just join the Facebook group. Look it up. Join it. Answer the 3 questions and agree to the admin's rules. That's all we ask.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, we all love going to away games, and we have admins all over the world. We have an admin from Australia. He's coming over at the end of February, early March, for a couple of matches, and he's looking very much forward to it. And we all love it, but at the same time, it's hard to be very positive when we suck. When we have a match like we did last week, it's hard to be positive. And to be quite honest, based on the reports that I'm seeing, we're going to have another protest like we had in 2017.
Yeah, our owners are an embarrassment. I think that's the problem.
Wow.
They're an embarrassment. It's not just that they don't spend enough on the club. It's not just that our training facility is frankly worse than probably 150 high school football facilities you could find in the state of Texas. I know I mentioned it, but no, I'm serious. I'm just telling you, my hometown has a nicer training facility than West Ham.
Well, so hang on. What New Balance Fielding up to Gloucester?
Do I?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, Lee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the best facilities. So, by the way, if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, go on Google, type it up. New Balance Field up in Gloucester. It's one of the literally the only facilities in the entire nation that is like a below ground, and it's beautiful. They put literally a boatload of money into it, and it's fantastic.
This is what I'm talking about, though. So when West Ham opened this new training facility, a £4 million training facility, and there was a video tour, there were photos, there was exposure on social media, and it's just awful. It just looks so bad.
I mean,
they're so tone deaf, and they have such a lack of awareness that they put this out there as if we should all look at it and be impressed by it. And Tottenham are training in this palace, and there are League One clubs and Championship clubs with better facilities. Which now you see pundits coming out and saying this on social media. This is terrible. It's not that. It's everything they do. It's the league. They could control all these leaks, but they won't. I think they like the leaks. I think they like to keep people interested.
Why did the pit bull end up on Sky Sports today? Who let the dog out?
She had a new album to promote.
You want a positive about? Well, I'll give you a positive about West Ham. Karren Brady still got it. She looks good. She does. She looks good. She looks good. No, she does. She's just
one thing with that interview, and I think they sent her on Sky. I guess whenever you really see anything that has to do with the team, presenting something or talking about something, just like they did with the stadium and stuff like that, she's well spoken, that kind of stuff. But I felt a lot of it for what she was saying today was she knew what the questions were. She had answers already prepared, because you think about it, you watch it, they asked the question and she had an answer for it. There wasn't really any pause that she had to think or anything like that. But
keep her away out of the press. She writes her column for the Sun, which I think is horrible.
Which is horrible. I'd never read it before until last week, and then I read last week, and I was just
Well, so why does she continue to have an article or column in the press? To be quite honest,
why would they do any of this stuff, Zach? That's the whole point. Why? I mean, first of all, let me just
I think
say
she works for the Sun, or like she's in.
Let me ask you. Before they fired Pellegrini, how many times did we see Karren Brady on Sky Sports?
A lot.
None.
I don't think
he's powered at all.
I don't think
in the Pellegrini regime, they all shut their fucking mouths.
No.
Okay, hang on. So let's back up for a second. Why does she have an article in a premium British tabloid that's very, very, very big in London?
Garbage.
Why?
Garbage.
Hey, does any other Premier League club have anyone else that's a quote unquote ownership?
Not that I've ever
that. No.
That's what I'm saying. It's all the stuff they do. First of all, let me just say this. I would never comment on a woman's looks if I had respect for her. But since I have no respect for Karren Brady, I'll tell you how hot I think she is because I think she is. But anyway, so I'm not
Charlie Sheen.
I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm disrespecting her specifically. But let me just say this. Mark Noble said, unfortunately, a couple of years ago, the club's not run like a circus anymore. But of course, it's still run like a circus. All this stuff. I mean, the leaks, the column, the interviews. It's who wants to go? Who wants to be around all that?
Are you saying Mark Noble's the problem?
Stop.
Mr. West Ham saying the right things?
No,
he's the mouthpiece for the board. Is that what you're saying?
Listen, the guy's trying to walk a tightrope, Mark Noble. All right, he's trying to walk a tightrope between being honest about the club and doing what he's supposed to do as captain, which is keep things.
Well, then let's get him on here. Let's bring him in. Let's bring him on the show and get right to the bottom of it.
Listen,
are you truthful? Did you really mean that, Mark? You remember saying this? Were you paid to say this? Did they give you a bonus? What's going on?
You know he goes home every night and he's just fed up with everything he's experienced all day. You know he does, and it's been that way for 15 years. And you know that he's resentful of this ownership because he's not going to get a trophy at this rate. And he's not going to achieve that legendary West Ham status that like Billy Bonds has or Bobby Moore. Not because of the type of player he is, but because we haven't had the success, and that's because we haven't had the ownership. So I'm not saying he's the problem. No, I think the guy's got to walk a tightrope. I think if you listen to NFL coaches or really coaches in almost any sport, especially in the U.S., they always talk about not wanting distractions. They say we don't want a distraction on the team. We're trying to avoid distractions. This is a big deal. No distractions, no distractions. All our board do is distract. That's all they do.
How many American sports owners are on fucking TV talking about their club all the time?
Well, so hang on, a lot of them. If you look at
I don't watch American sports anymore. I'm so fucking sick of it.
If you look at Ray Kroenke, the owner of the Rams, when he moved from St. Louis out to LA, he was huge in the LA market. There was a national advertisement that was paid for by somebody in St. Louis, and saying pretty much fuck you, Steering Concrete, you piece of shit. And you know what? I applaud him because it's an over $3 million advertisement for 30 seconds. And you know what? It's a lot more money than I have right now to give him that.
I want you to think about this. Who are the only owners in American sports you could name off the top of your head? All right. First one's probably Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. You asking me? Ted Leon says.
Don't ask Zach. Please, dear God.
Thank you. I'll go way to death.
The average American fan could probably name maybe 5 owners in major sports. Seriously. I mean, like James Dolan of the Knicks and Jerry Jones. And most of them are bad.
Fuck James Dolan.
Most of them are bad. Jerry Jones.
Robert Kraft. I mean, we know that. I mean, I know
that. Okay, Robert Kraft.
Usually you know the owners in your city, but like,
right. But Jerry Jones.
Did I push this into American sports?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm sorry. That's
drink. Everyone,
I'm regretting this.
Everyone, take a drink.
Let's fucking turn this around. All right. So
hey, by the way, Tim, is that a machine head tattoo that I noticed?
Hell yeah, dude. Machine. Yeah, you can't really see it, but it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw that in DC. I didn't know. So hang on. All right. Are the best albums before 2000 or after 2000?
Ooh, before. So actually no. Yeah. No, I mean, if you're talking 2010, yes. Dude, because like 2009, The Blackening was fucking, or 2007. I'm sorry. 2007.
So hang on. So what's your top 3 albums for them?
Burn My Eyes, The Blackening, and Through the Ashes of Empires. Oh, Jesus Christ, you're going to say fucking, what's the hip-hop one? Who left?
Are y'all going to talk about Waylon Jennings or not? Because...
Yeah, so hang on. So Unto the Locust, Blackening, Burn My Eyes. Those are my top three.
Cool.
Well, Chris is gone. No, he's coming back. All right.
All right.
So,
did he freeze still? Can you guys see him moving? Right, there he is. I'm sorry. All right, let's.
So I saw the album and I saw the text. I didn't make sure. I wanted to make sure. So I'm like, it's been bugging me ever since like when we met. So
yes,
I'm like,
it is.
Yes.
And now everybody, yes, I'm a machine.
And just like I just kind of like wanted to put two and two together because like
yes,
Unto the Locust is like literally my favorite album ever from them. Well, so I'm just like whenever.
That's awesome to hear, man.
I just introduced my friend Gabby to it, and she was just like, "I want more of this shit." I'm like, "Wow,
it's delicious." Yeah, it's.
Yeah, so I'm trying to send her like metal like that. And so, by the way, if you have any other metal recommendations like that, please send it to me at WikiPuff88 on Twitter, and I'm more than willing to listen to it and send it back here. And I'll argue with you till the end of that.
Awesome.
So, anyways,
cool.
Back to the point.
No, thank you, man. And yes, Machine Head, I fucking love him. I'd rather listen, Lee, guys. I'd rather talk Machine Head than talk fucking American sports owners, and that's my fault because I brought up American sports owners. No, it was my fault. I'm sorry. Chat room, if you're still here, sorry. I apologize.
No. I was trying to point that if you are an owner and you are in the press and you are constantly pimping your as an owner, you're probably a bad owner. You're probably doing a bad job as an owner.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
It's better.
What the fuck's going on?
Chris is in here twice.
Oh, we're gonna clone it.
All right, how the hell did you do that, Chris?
I don't know.
Awesome. You should have gone like this.
Chris's view box is in the same state of disarray as West Ham.
Hey.
We can have a long conversation on the podcast on Sunday.
God almighty. Listen, guys. Right. What are we talking about? All right, so Karren Brady, yes, she fucking... Did anybody else find themselves, like, yelling at her?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, nobody else found that. Okay.
What? Seriously? Okay, anyway. Yeah, of course.
Be checking for something, right? No.
They listen. They just say the same things over and over again, and we see the same results over and over again. And it's just the definition of idiocy. It's the definition of being an idiot, trying the same thing over and over and having it never work and still trying it. You bang your head against the wall, your head gets bloody. You say to yourself, what do I do about this? Keep banging my head against the wall.
Zach says that every episode of, pretty much.
I said it with text a bunch of times because my father keeps saying that over and over again. Yeah. When I was trying to meet women, and I kept trying the same thing over and over again, and it ended up with a drink in my face. That's well, yeah, and you realize why that I'm.
Hard to imagine, Zach. I got to tell you, hard to imagine.
Well, I was called the Poon Slayer my freshman year, so.
Chris,
I swear to God, I have no idea why. I have no fucking idea why.
Chris, were you known as the Poon Slayer at Miami University or Ohio or something like that, or were you?
No, Hofstra University in Long Island, right next to the New York Islanders. So.
Okay.
Long Island. Yeah.
What?
We talked about pauses. We talked about Karren Brady. Now, Everton coming up. I know you guys talked about it on your podcast, but for those who haven't tuned into your podcast, are you scared? Are you optimistic? What are your thoughts before we get into some Hammers polls? I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to go to Selly, and then I'll give my opinion, and Zach, and then Lee thereafter. So we'll talk about Everton real quick before we go to the polls.
No, I'm not nervous for it. I think it's a.
Did Chris freeze again?
No, I think he did. Yeah, but he's back now.
All right.
No, so
I we'll go around backwards.
I think it'll be a good test to see how David Moyes can bring the boys back, especially from a disappointing / kind of heartbreaking loss.
Yeah.
Where our performance wasn't that great, but we could have easily drawn or even, taken all three. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Everton, obviously they're on a bit of a good they're in a bit of a good form right now. So we'll see what happens. I like it that way. I don't want anybody limping in here. You know, I think you
that's
never know what
dangerous.
to expect every week in the Premier League. So
Yeah.
who knows? We can go out there and get smashed 3-0. We can go out there and smash them 3-0, or it could be 1-1. You know, who knows? But yeah, I agree with Neil. I don't know who's going to be the goaltender. All of them have the same injury, you know, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Well, we repoed Darren Randolph. That was a repo move. That was just like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking okay. That's what the other topic was. We'll discuss Darren Randolph after Everton.
Okay.
Let's go around.
To be quite honest, I'd rather take a 44 caliber love letter straight to the heart and re-sign Randolph.
We will definitely get into that for sure.
By the way, for all the Canadians out there, that's an Alexis is on fire lyric, and I know, none of y'all are Canadians, so.
Maybe in the chat room, but Chris.
But so literally, why are we signing an injured goalkeeper who's 32 years old, and by the time the end of his contract, he's 32. By the end of the contract, he's going to be 35. If you look at most NHL contracts for guys that are 30 plus, they will not see the end of the 35 until the very end, and they will be gone before that. And
I guess, you're right. Well, I guess we're skipping everything, going straight into Darren Randolph. So
so literally, if you look at.
Well, he's injured anyway. It doesn't matter. He's not going to play anytime soon. He's injured.
Well, hang on. Well, you say that, but hang on. If you look at the old, hang on. If you look at the old people in between the NBA and the NHL,
well, you had to pass
there's literally only one guy, and that guy is Vince freaking Carter, and Vince freaking Carter can still own y'all asses.
Mahmoud Abdul Rauf can still fucking outschool anybody. I mean, I'm sorry, Chris Jackson. I mean,
okay, Gary, I do not have the munchies.
As a Denver Nuggets fan, I can definitely appreciate your reference to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
I was so into basketball back then.
Just invite forward JWF, let's go Jazz. No, but seriously, like if you look at to look somebody as old as Vince Carter, he's almost 41, about 42 maybe.
Goalkeepers age, dude. I mean, the
thing about goalkeepers.
Yeah, they don't count. They are, dude. Pepe.
They're like punters in the NFL.
Brad Friedel played till he was like 52, you know, and he's still playing for the New England Revolution, probably.
I don't mind. I mind the fact.
Oh my God, that name brings me back memories.
I'm telling you.
He's a repo, and he's unfit. And I didn't like him that much when he was here before. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just all that great.
Neither did I. Listen, he leaked goals. And yes, he'd have he would do the same thing Roberto did, but he'd do better than Roberto. But I mean, he'd have more saves than Roberto, but it's the saves that he'd leak in so many goals and then you have one miraculous save. Well, that happens when you're out of position all the time. You know, if you're a shit goalkeeper, your saves will look miraculous because you don't save the ball.
There's more spectacular than they have to be.
Exactly.
Well, we need a right back immediately, like right now.
Yeah.
We need a box.
Yes, we do.
We need a box midfielder. We need a striker, another striker. And I know those are hard to get in jail.
I would love to hear from Chris.
But our only
we keep cutting him off.
It's a only signing. That's just tip.
Yes, Lee, and we will get. Listen, I would love to get back to that, and we will get into that because it's definitely one of the Hammers polls. So we'll definitely go back into Darren Randolph in a bit. But Chris, please, before anybody else says anything, tell me your prediction. Are you optimistic? What's up, Chris?
So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic about every game for us. But the thing that scares me is the next 4 matches as well as the stretch after that. We have 4 matches in the next 11 days. Everton home on the 18th, Leicester away the 22nd, West Brom at home for the FA Cups the following Saturday, Liverpool the following Wednesday at home.
Oh.
And then
please kill me.
And then you follow that with Brighton at home, City away, Liverpool again away, and then you have a stretch of Arsenal away, home to Wolves, away to Tottenham, home to Chelsea in 4 consecutive weeks. So that's what scares me is just the stretch of games that we have and the fact that we have 4 games in 11 days when we have three potentially injured goalkeepers, weak at the right back position, can't ever figure out what's going on in the midfield. So that's what terrifies me.
Well, so
that's fair. Yeah,
it's really fair. But if you look at the group that I'm in, we had a whole conversation very early this morning at 3 a.m. my time, by the way, and I'm on the East Coast, which sucks for me, by the way. But they're like, we need a midfielder, we need a right back, and we need a goalkeeper. In my opinion, we don't need a midfielder. We need right backs and left backs, and a goalkeeper, yes. But other than that, we're fine. If we were to keep Yarmolenko and keep Yarmolenko happy, we would be fine.
Can I comment on that actually?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I mentioned this in the podcast. So we're just a point above relegation, obviously. And already in this window, Aston Villa has brought in Pepe Reina to help with their goalkeeper situation. Norwich has signed a midfielder from Hoffenheim. And so Hoffenheim, sorry. These clubs that are facing relegation are trying to do everything in their power to stay up. And we're open to sending Yarmolenko out on loan or permanently, even to Premier League clubs. So we're fine with weakening our own stance while helping someone else potentially.
That's a really good point.
Can you guys read this at all? Is it too small for you? Basically, what it says is these are Darren Randolph stats. So please, Richard, if you're in the chat room still, take a look at this real quick for me. In the 2015-16 season, in 6 matches played, he gave up 11 goals. I don't know if you guys can see that. In the 2016-17 season, in 22 matches played, he gave up 35. I think this is 35. Let me triple check
35.
here. Yeah, 35 goals. And also managed a yellow card. So. Oh, boy, and I don't have the time to compare that with
that also includes international friendlies. So
I'm sorry?
It does look like it also includes international friendlies. So.
No. International friendlies, he gave up 4 goals in 2 international friendlies. Down below, if I keep scrolling down,
I thought you were talking whole season, not just the Premier League. Sorry, my bad.
So the UEFA Euro qualifiers, okay, he did good for his international team. I didn't think so, because every time I turn on the TV watching him for Ireland, he gave up a fucking goal. So I don't understand how that happened. Unless he came off as a sub a couple games and they counted those as fucking games. But yeah, the FA Cup, he did good in the FA Cup. But listen, dude, I'm telling you, every time I remember watching him, he was leaking goals. So I don't understand what all this love is for him. Now, okay, in Championship, look at this, is better. So 17-18 season for Middlesbrough, 43 goals in 48 matches. That's more like it. You know what I'm saying? So he's capable of doing that in the Championship level. So maybe West Ham is preparing to get relegated, right? Is that what they're doing here? I mean, I don't know.
I hope to God not. I hope to God that we're preparing for like a deep FA Cup run, and I think all of us would be happy with a final 8 FA Cup run. To be quite honest, I think show of hands, who would not like an FA Cup run to the Elite 8, to the final 8? I think we all would, but anything less than that would be screwed. I think John would agree with me on that.
Yes. So let's get into the Hammers Poll, since pretty much the question I asked earlier, and we all didn't. I don't think we all answered this, but we'll just answer it now. Let's go around and let's start from the bottom and go to the top. You see this totem pole we got going here? Okay, so we'll start with Selly, and then we'll go all the way up to the top. The question is, what will be the result when West Ham take on Everton on Saturday at London Stadium? Will West Ham win? Will Everton win? A score draw or goalless? And this is from Hammers Polls, our buddies over there. We haven't done those that often, but so apologies to Hammers Polls, but we got you back. All right. So, Selly, what is your prediction? West Ham win, Everton draw, score draw, goalless?
Score draw. I'll go with that.
Score draw. Chris?
Score draw as well.
All right. Lee?
We're going to win, Tim. I have to believe.
Yeah, not if So I'm not watching it with you this weekend, just so you know. I was hoping, because the last 2 times we watched Everton,
yeah,
you remember how that went, right?
That's true.
Zach, West Ham win, Everton win, score, draw, goalless.
So if we don't so I already know that there's going to be protests. That there are protests planned based on the group happenings. And so if we don't have a draw, and we don't literally if we don't walk out, last time there was a protest, it was 3-0. I remember that because my grandfather was in hospice, and that was the saddest day of one of the saddest days of my life. Seeing my grandfather dying and seeing West Ham literally dying.
Yeah,
it fucking sucked. But if we get a scoreless draw, I'd be thrilled, honestly.
No, you know what? Listen, this is what I'm going to say. I never pick us to win because I never think
touching the fucking thing.
No,
keep clicking the comments.
I got it under control. It's cool. It's cool. No, I never pick us to win because I never think we're going to win. But one thing I'll say for this team, even under Pellegrini, every time we've flirted with relegation, we've won when we've had to. Chelsea, Hampton, and I think it's going to happen again on Saturday. I have to believe that 1 point above the relegation zone, easily possibility of dropping in on Saturday. I actually think we nick this thing.
I'm not watching the game with Lee, so we're going to win. We're going to win.
I don't think I'm going to watch it with Ken either, as much as I like Ken. I think I'm going to
let's stay away from that one. Let's just watch it by ourselves. Because the last couple I watched at my house, we won. So there you go. But 35%, a lot of people, there's a lot of, 45% pretty much say Everton will win. And that's out of 506 votes, which is pretty good for Hammers polls.
Yeah.
All right, the next question, guys.
How bleak everyone is viewing the season right now.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
I guess you're right. I mean, it's been up and down. I mean, there was some hope after, the first 2 wins with Moyes. But
this is what I said. When you wonder, Chris, let me just ask this. So suppose the goal isn't disallowed and we come out of Sheffield with a 1-1 draw. Does everybody have such a bleak?
Correct. Everybody's fucking.
I'm thrilled with the 1-1 draw against Sheffield. You kidding me?
Yeah, way. 1-1 draw.
Hang on. So true story. So I was in my workspace photographing scarves. And once the goal went in, I literally jumped off my knees and started screaming at the top of my fucking lungs, jumping up and down like a mad idiot, going, "Oh my god, we tied it, yes." And then with the VAR, and then I saw the VAR replay. Oh, VAR is gonna fuck us.
It's killing the game. It's killing the game.
Well, VAR is not being used incorrectly. VAR, what is it good for? After
oh, they're gonna sing that at the ground. Right. Oh, that's amazing.
Listen, I'm gonna read the question, then we're gonna go from Zach. And we're gonna go down. Okay, so let's be honest. The board are not going to jump ship anytime soon. So this planned protest is more for a change around the club under their tenure. Which one single thing would you like to see the board act upon following on this? Following this protest. So would you want them to be more transparent? Would you want them to go for ownership of the London Stadium? Do you want them to sign more players? Or, my computer just fucking freaked out on me. All right, fix season ticket prices. So what do you think there, Zach? What would you rather see out of that?
So because I don't quite understand European ticketing, and I don't understand season ticket holdership.
Neither do I.
Okay. Well, I understand it in the U.S., but I don't understand it in there, but over there. But I would say go for ownership of the London Stadium because I know for hypothetical, so just to give, go for 2 up front. Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah. But to go the only other stadium that I know that has a similar issue would be the Stade Velodrome in Marseille, and because it's owned by owned by the Marseille the government of Marseille and whatnot. And they have a bunch of other problems with it. And Marseille has been battling with the council of Marseille about it. And when they had the Tour de France through Marseille, there was a whole stage that started and ended in the Stade Velodrome. By the way, look it up. It's actually great to watch. But it was just kind of funny because all the Marseille supporters protested the living shit out of it. Yeah. It was just kind of funny to watch because I would kill for that. I would kill for that. in the London Stadium.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would fucking kill for that. But
so, long story short, go for ownership of London Stadium.
yes,
Okay.
I would love this more than anything in the world.
Lee, what is your choice here out of this four? What's your pill?
Well, as somebody who doesn't obviously go to matches, it's sign more and better players. Just sign more and better players right now.
See, they didn't write better, did they? In that,
That's
it just says
something-
sign more players. What the fuck does that do?
It's got to be better. Keep our heads above water. And did you guys see that West Ham is now looking for volunteer scouts? Did you see this?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Did you see that?
Do you know how many scouts we actually have?
Like
7.
3 or 4.
7, with two in Europe, 5 in England.
That's right. 7.
Well, according to LinkedIn, I mean, we probably have about 37, and half of them are from Zimbabwe or Afghanistan or wherever. I mean, they're all over the world. You know, they just their LinkedIn title is they're a scout for West Ham, or agents. Those are the big ones. There's plenty of those too out there on LinkedIn.
So more players, better players. Keep us up. That's it. Right now, that's it.
So Chris,
I would have to say you'd have to kind of change the wording on that.
you have to change the wording on all of them because there's not such a thing as be more transparent. There's be transparent, and the other, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
sign better players, right?
Well, with that one too, I mean, for God's sakes, every bit of news and every rumor that surrounds West Ham, it gets leaked every single day. So it's not like they're not transparent per se.
Transparent.
I would have to say that go for better
selectively transparent.
Really quickly, I just saw this on Twitter. That Nico Shura guy.
Yeah, he was wrong, wasn't he?
Well, here's this. Chicharito is about to move. Is getting closer to a move to the LA Galaxy from Sevilla.
Please tell me.
For 9 million euros. They're going to sell him to
more than we sold him for.
More than we sold him to Sevilla.
That's crazy.
So
I'd rather hang myself on a shoelaces than have him move to.
Sign David Moyes as manager. That was a good one. So everybody, definitely check out Fortune's Always Hiding podcast for these nice quips. Right, it's really awesome listening to you and John and Chris. So if you want to hear more from them, and we got to get John on here too to help promote his show too. Selly, pick your pill.
I would say go for the ownership of the London Stadium, specifically because that's one of the biggest things that was promised was complete renovation. I know the LED board around the outside doesn't really is not that big of a deal, but that's not the same. I don't know if anybody here has been there, but it's you have some, but it's not a lot. But just owning it because you're sitting like the field is really far away from the stands. I don't know how much closer you could get it, but like those scaffolding stands on top of other stands is ridiculous to me.
It is ridiculous.
Terrible. It's terrible. Yeah.
If we end up getting relegated, we get rent at like what, half price or something like that. So if we get relegated, can we buy the place at half price too?
I don't know.
I would be quick to offer £1,000 to say yes. I would literally. So for all you who don't know, I sell on eBay, but I would offer £1,000 a year to sell literally buy a little corner because I've been to the London Stadium for baseball. I was there for the Red Sox Yankees series this year. By the way, it was a hell of a lot of fun. If you live in London and have never been to a baseball game or been to a baseball game and want to go to London for a baseball game, it is the funnest. It's literally the most fun you'll ever have. Yeah. But I'm more than willing to shell out the advertising funds.
So we got 2 for ownership of London Stadium, and then we have, well,
I think Chris and I,
sign more players, right? Better players, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean the team already has one of the cheapest season ticket prices that you can have, and like you said earlier, be more transparent.
I mean, what
transparent? Period.
I mean, I'd be scared if they were more transparent. Almost, I mean, I don't want
they should.
Make it more sickening. So, I don't know. I guess let's tiebreaker here. All right. Well, I'll just say sign better players. And shit for 48%. Yeah, but 34% said go for ownership of London Stadium. Only 15 said be more transparent, and 2.4%. That's it. That's all. They're the only ones that give a shit about fixed season ticket prices. So they must be locals, obviously.
Yeah. One thing too. Sorry, just real quick. One thing too with London Stadium that was crazy was, they would say we would have complete ownership of it. Do what we want to do. But then the first 4 games of that 2017 season, we all had to play on the road, and we all know how that season started.
Yeah.
Did you watch that video that's been going around on Twitter? With like
I
all
saw
their fuck ups.
Just saw it earlier.
Yeah, me too, man. I was pretty upset when I saw that.
Yeah.
So here we go. Finally, let's get back to Darren Randolph again. Darren Randolph, is he 1, a laughable re-signing? Is he 2, another dent in the next level? 3, they obviously have no ambition. Or 4, it's just a cheap option as per usual. Or I guess there should be all of the above.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, 5, all the above. So let's start from the bottom and go up. Sally, what do you think?
No ambition. 3, easy. Just none.
All right.
If there was option 5, I would pick that one. But
yeah, me too. I think we all would. But yeah, what would you pick?
I'd say 4.
4, cheap option. Yep. Okay. Lee.
Yeah, I think it's number 1 because he's a repo, basically. We sent our man out when Middlesbrough couldn't make their payments.
I'm telling you, the same people that don't want to sell Antonio or Lanzini or the players that they just love being around are so happy that Darren Randolph's back because he was one of the guys that was a great guy, nice guy, always had time for fans, and great personality. Wow. So he must be great around the room, the dressing room, the locker room, whatever, and must be good at fun to have around in training. So other than that, the fuck. But anyway, what's Lee? What did you say? I'm sorry. You said laughable.
I'm laughing because he's a repo.
Zach, what do you think?
So, as a Sammer, you said what's the positive opinion here? The positive opinion here is that we're still in the Premier League and we're still getting over £100 million a season.
For now,
we're not. The owners are.
The owners are. Yeah.
Well, so hang on. The correct opinion is 0. We should not be resigning Danny. We should not be going after him. And this is a joke.
So you say 5?
Yeah, 5.
Exactly. But out of the 4, what would you pick?
I picked 5. This is a joke.
Really quickly.
What's number 1? Number 1 is laughable.
Chris.
Yeah, it's number 1. Yeah, he's a laughable.
Hammers. Where's the positive option? We don't have to work. We hopefully don't have to worry about Roberto anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh God, please! I do not want to deal with anyone that has neck tattoos anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, I guess I don't think it had. Well, cheap. I don't think it was the cheap thing. I think it was mainly because they Middlesbrough owed us money, and we're pretty much just getting our toy back, I guess you'd say.
Are Irish guys homegrown? Does that count?
I believe they consider it.
Do they? Okay.
Do they though? Is that like UK and Ireland? Not.
No.
I was seeing it on Twitter that it does count towards our homegrown quota.
All right. All right. Well, there you go. That's all right. But another next level. I mean, no. There's a reason why they did that. I guess I'm hoping that it's because of the homegrown thing. But either way, it's because it was there. I say cheap because we weren't paying a thing for them.
Right.
And so it's got to be the cheap option, I guess. So I'm just going to say 4 just for shits and giggles. Yes, 67.5%. Wow. But then I also would say that 100% said number 5, but there was no number 5. So thank you, Tony, for the question. All right, so this is hypothetical. No, I'm not going to fucking do that. I don't like hypotheticals. We just did 5 of them. Anyway, guys, let's get this shit out of here real quick. Cool. So we only have like 2 minutes left. Is there any? All right. Before we go any further, I'm sorry. First of all, thank everybody in the chat room. I really do. Essex Hammer, James Devaney. I see Richard Walden as usual, and Ray Bourne, our good buddy over there, and Charlie Walsh was in there for a bit. Gary Perridge, he's going to be over there when I'm there, and in London at the end of the month. That'll be cool.
Oh, hey, you going to London? You going to London at the end of the month?
Yes.
Hang on, message me. I support a hockey team on the other side of London.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the Strahan Redhawks. Yeah,
What?
literally, my name's on the back of Scott Bailey's
Did you
jersey.
say Strahan?
Strahan. At
Oh.
SW16.
Okay, I thought you said like Michael Strahan. I thought.
No,
I'm sorry, I
Strahan.
misunderstood.
STREHAN.
Okay, all right. And then Neil from Down Under, and who else was in there? Tebow. I'm hopefully going to meet Trevor when I get out there. That'll be nice to see him. Yeah. And Paul Clenshaw and everybody else. Listen, thanks everybody in the chat room. I really appreciate it. Make sure you click the like button if you enjoyed this evening. And and what's the other one? Oh yeah, subscribe. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We've already broken 1,000. I appreciate that. Zach and Chris, along with John, who's not here, are part of Fortune's Always Hiding, the podcast. We tend to actually put the audio also up on our YouTube channel, but if you don't want to listen to it there, check it out it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, Podbean, but most people listen to it on iTunes and Spotify. So please check them out once a week. It's definitely entertaining, and they're getting. We
try to have fun. We try to make fun of our life. And
you do, and it's awesome. It's unique. It's not just a typical West Ham podcast, which I love about it. So that everybody brings their own vibe into it, and it's getting. The group's getting tighter every single week, and although they've only done like 4 or 5 episodes, it's getting better and better and better, which is great. So I just look forward to more of that. Also, American Hammers Radio, the actual flagship show we have, they're also on iTunes and Spotify, so please listen to that, support them. Also, we have American Hammers Radio. We will have Fortune's Always Hiding merchandise soon, but right now we only have the American Hammers Radio logo in our shop. Please check out AmericanHammers.net, which is our website, which is awesome. It's been completely, revamped, and there's a lot of more cool stuff on there. And then the second page is the shop page, and there's tons of cool new stuff. There's like underwear in our shop now, and there's
Gary, I will not debate the variance of VAR right now.
Wait, the underwear in our shop, does that compete with David Gold's knickers that he sells at
if it did, I would buy it.
Yeah, how long before we can get some of David Sullivan's products in our shop?
Oh shit! Oh snap! We're going there. Okay.
Yeah.
What a show!
So,
what a show!
Yeah. Well, no, it's been awesome. So, anyways, you can check Selly out on Sunday nights with Lee, and on the Weekend Review show. I've been lazy about putting up the audio on the Spotify and iTunes and all that, but I'm going to talk to Liam about getting that up there again, because those were getting some listens too, believe it or not. So that was really neat. Yes, can't wait to hear Tim rant. What? Yeah, you've already heard Tim rant tonight, man. I don't know if you heard me talking about
life, though. It's
Darren Randolph.
Charlie, it's spectacular. Let me tell you, it's spectacular because you get the little nicotine wisp. You know what I mean? You get the little like.
And on that note, everybody,
you guys are whack. So anyway, I'm gonna get So whatever. Anyway, thank you guys for tonight. I appreciate you guys coming on first and foremost, and love the chat room.
Be here.
And we'll definitely have I hope to get to meet a lot of you guys in the chat room as well when I go over there to London. I know I will definitely meet Ray. And Ray, you are wrong. I thought you were treating me, but that's fine. We'll talk about that when we get there. And same with Charlie. I mean, we'll talk about that when we get there. Anyway, great night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we were gonna try to get an Everton supporter on, which couldn't work out the time. Oh, so we could do an opposition preview, and well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen now. So we're going to probably do something different tomorrow night, and then Friday night likes 4:30 p.m. Eastern time and 9:30 p.m. UK. We have AJ from Kiwi Hammers as a guest, and we have JP from JPWHU TV as a guest, and we have author Robert Banks, who Lee interviewed. And the special host of the evening for Friday Night Lights, guest host, is Lee.
That's correct.
Lee's filling in for John Nolan because John Nolan's wife just had a baby. So he will not be there. Yeah, so we have another, yes, we have a new hammer in the world.
He's letting us know is what he's doing. He's letting the sign what he's doing. Don't sugarcoat it. He's failing on us.
I'm so sorry, but I forgot to mention one last thing here. So we have a friend in Texas, a good friend of the show, and his name's Javier Luna. All right, and I posted this on social media, except Instagram, because Instagram won't really let me post like this. He moved from Eagle Pass, Texas, to Dilley, Texas, to fully devote himself to his job. He's a lifelong football fan, a hardcore West Ham supporter, and one of the best friends you could ever ask for. Always the first one to offer to pay the bill or to back you up when shit hits the fan. He recently got promoted at his job and was sent to Huntsville to complete his training. That's when the nightmare started. His house burned down while he was at the academy. Javier Luna, lost everything. You name it, it's all gone. Jerseys, flags, clothes, games, electronics, houseware, etc., etc. The list goes on. What he took with him is all he owns. Okay, so please help us get our brother back on his feet by donating a little bit to this fundraiser. He's a big part of the Alamo City Hammers. Okay, out of San Antonio, Texas, and the greater Claret Blue Army. So this what do you call it? The Alamo City Hammers are also going to do a fundraiser at their pub for him. But there's a GoFundMe page. So I posted it on Twitter. I also posted it on our Facebook page. I've already donated to him. Just every little bit counts. What he's looking for is really, it's not even that much. So I think the goal is like 1,500 or something like that. And he's already, last I checked, was at let's see here, real quickly. By the time this show has ended, it looks like it was 50 last time. Yeah, $50. So he's looking for 1,500. Pretty much just help him out. So anyway, if you're interested in helping out a fellow hammer,
hang on, can I give a brief story? Really quick, this is very much to do with this. So my friend Julio, he's Argentinian by birth. He's an Argentinian native. He immigrated to the U.S. illegally. He's been in the U.S. for over 20 plus years. And it wasn't until a drunk driving incident pretty much deported him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is now back to Argentina, his birth nation. And so he is literally in the same boat. So I understand this completely, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It literally sucks. So,
yeah.
And I know most of you guys don't, because you're born in America, lived in America all your life. You have no idea what this is like.
Yeah.
I don't speak a word of Spanish, but I know this sucks. I've talked to him, and he's just gone back. He's just gone batshit crazy to me in Spanish, and I have no idea what the fuck this is he's going on until I get a translation. And he fucking hates this. And I wanted to help. I try to help him as much as I possibly can. And I implore you all as West Ham fans to support every single one of them.
Yeah,
because it's
definitely.
tough.
So we all have each other's backs. If something like this ever happens, and anyone needs us to post something on our social media to help out a fellow hammer, let us know. I know Paul and David, who we've had on the show before from Alamo City Hammers, reached out and asked if I could post it on social media, and I told them I would definitely mention it on the show tonight as well. So please, help them out. So anyway, we got Friday Night Lights to look forward to next, and unless we pull something out of our butts and put a show on tomorrow night, I don't know what. But Friday Night Lights is going to be awesome because, again, the winner goes into the tournament, the upcoming tournament. As soon as we hit 18 winners of Friday Night Lights, we're going to be splitting them into a bracket of 9-9, and that includes people like Baz Cox, that includes Ian Bishop, that includes Charlie Walsh from the chat room. That also, there's others, plenty of others. So it's going to be a really fun tournament. So anyway, it'll be neat to see if what's his name, Lee, is biased by the guy that he interviewed. See if he shows any bias and lets Ron Banks win.
Right?
But
doesn't somebody else actually keep score though? I just do the likes.
Wally will keep score. Yes.
Okay, so
the points don't matter.
Is that a dog, Sally? I didn't know what the hell that. I couldn't see that because all I saw was this little fuzz.
This is one of 3 dogs that we have here. This one is Mocha, toy poodle, the only girl.
Oh.
There's 2 others down here, both tiny, one shaggy, one Snickers. I heard them barking. My neighbors went to go grab some. My roommates went to go grab some food, and the dogs were barking. So I thought they were back, but then they kept barking. So I realized they were just in the crate. They just wanted to play. Yeah.
What's the screen time?
Yeah, this is Mocha. So I'm sure she's enjoying the attention.
We're always better with dogs.
You guys might see my kids on Friday if you watch, because they'll be home from school, and I might drag them up here and see if they'll come on. So if anybody cares, they might come on. We'll see. If they're not like there's watching some anime thing on TV or whatever it is they watch. So anyway,
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to that then, and for sure. And listen, it's going to be a great show because I'm very interested to see how Lee does doing a 30 to 45 minute show and seeing if he can keep it 30 to 45 minutes. That'll be interesting.
You didn't tell me that part. 35 minutes. What? What's the point?
Lee is the
I'm just kidding. You can do it as long as you want. There's been a couple that lasted like an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm just kidding. He always tells people 30 to 45 minutes just so that they'll actually come on the show. And then once he gets them on, like Ian Bishop's show, it lasted like an hour and a half. So anyway, it's late. I got to go.
Well, so hang on really quickly. Lee and Wayne were the first two people to interview me ever.
That's true.
For American Hammer.
That's true. That's right.
And so it was just kind of like, I was just kind of like, oh shit, I'm dealing with two of the top people here, and I'm like, oh snap. So,
yeah, top dogs. Oh yeah.
So we went into a whole debate about French football, and by the way, there's a huge French football connection to West Ham, and I will die. I will literally bring this to my grave. But there's a huge West Ham support group in Marseille. And ever since we had a conversation in July, I have been trying to find out who was the one in charge of the Tifo banners, and I've come up with dead ends all the way through. So I am continuing to put it out and saying I want to find this person out. So there's a huge story behind this, and I know that there is, and nobody besides me will sit there and will be willing to talk about it. So
I don't know if it was crack, Gary, but it was something. So
great crack tonight. Yeah, that's what he called the show. The great crack.
Yeah, the crack is good. Ask any Irish person.
All right, guys. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon. And also listen to American Hammers Radio and Fortune's Always Hiding. It is on iTunes, just like all those other podcasts. I think you might enjoy this one a lot better than those other things that are out there. So definitely give it a listen. Right, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, cool. And well, anyway, bye. I'll talk to you guys off the air real quick.
Adios.
Come on, you are.
Come on, you aren't.